Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Smitty here. Hey, we're in the middle of Austin's 4L60E build, and so far we've done the lower half of the case and the low reverse clutch, taking measurements for all that, taking measurements for the reverse input housing, got that all put together, and now we're on to the input housing, which houses 3 clutches, actually 4 if you want to call the Sprag a clutch, which technically it is. It's a one-way Sprag. It's a slider clutch. It's not a roller clutch. I've been corrected on that before. Anyway, if this content's something you like, make sure to smash that thumbs up for me. Hit the subscribe button right down there beside it, and turn your bell notification to all. And then comment and share with your friends. I do read the messages and I do respond to them. So that being said, let's get into what we're doing. Let's get ready to rumble. That's terrible, I know, but it was funny anyway. At least for me it was. So what we got here, we got our 4th apply ring. We got our 2 return springs. There's your 3/4 return spring, and that's your overrun and forward clutch return spring. Got your housing there. Got your forward sprag that we did in another video. Got our load springs here, and these are new ones. And you can see how the spring is above the retainer, which is what you want. I think this camera's getting tired, y'all. Anyway, got a replacement 3/4 ring, because the other one was baked pretty good, and there was no tension left on it, so we got another one. Got a new set of forward steels, and the overruns and the pressure plates were fine, so. And then we got a set of forward clutches and your 2 overruns, and of course our input housing. We also got the Z-Pack. We're going to use that Z-Pack on the 3/4. I like using these because it comes with everything you need. When you get a clutch that's smoked, it comes with both your apply plate and your pressure plate, so that's why I got it. So let's get going. So I almost forgot the best part. Well, I don't know the best part, but you got the high performance blue pistons. These are really good stuff. They work really well. Sorry about the additional noise. It's just really hot out here in my shop, and I'm trying to cool it off. Alright, so let's get into this. Let's get our pistons out of here to begin with. Fancy schmancy. Alright, we'll leave the Z-Pack for last. Oop. Alright. So we need to start putting our input housing together. And to start with, there is a small green O-ring that goes down in this housing down here. Well, at least it's green in the GM kits. Let's see if it's green in the precision kit. Well, we're gonna need those, so we'll go ahead and get them out. I don't even see it in that bag. What we're looking for is a very small, a very thin O-ring. Got to be another bag around here somewhere. If not, I will have to find one. Yep, there it is. There it is. Starting to worry me there just a second. All right. There's this olive green O-ring that goes down in this housing. There's a groove just on the other side there that this O-ring goes. I'm going to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. You see through this hole. You can see that O-ring down in there where it goes. I don't know if you can see that or not. There you go. See where that O-ring is right there? That's where that little lime olive green one goes. If you forget it, it's gonna be a bad day for you. All right, so let's start putting this thing together. You're gonna need your 4th piston here. And lube up the inside of your bore. And that piston can go down in there. Just like that. Then you need your apply ring. That'll go sitting in there just like that. Then you're going to need your return spring. Sits in there right there. And then you got this retainer. So make sure and give it some lube. On both sides. Set that off to the side just a minute, because you're going to want to put your forward clutch piston in there. It's going to make it easier, trust me. So lube up the inside of this surface here. Put that piston in. Give her a little bit of wiggle. You remember those tools that I showed you in my recent tool video? That's where these come in handy. So this goes over here just like that, and it allows you to slide this right down in there. Like that. Without worrying about cutting a seal. So isn't that slicker than snot? Alright, to put your other one on, you grab your smaller of your two seal protectors, you slide it right there on top, like that. Now, to put the other piston in, lube this surface up here. And lube this inner seal surface there. Then take your piston and just push it right down on there. And now you don't have to worry about cutting your seal on the inside. And that's all there is to that. So then comes your return spring. And for this one, you're gonna need my my janky tool here. Alright. Put that all the way up. Your other arm. Just twist that dude down till you can expose that snap ring groove. Speaking of snap rings, that should be it right there. Yeah, that's it. I know you probably aren't at the best angle, but it's all I can do. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying. Ooh. That snap ring is loosey-goosey. That thing must be stretched. Yeah, it's egg-shaped. Let me find another one. I'll get back with you here in just a second. Okay, so I found another one. And you can see how much further that dude is spread apart. So that one's going to go to the big recycler in the sky. Oh yeah, much better. That dude looks a lot better. That other one was spread out a bunch. So after you get that part done, just back your spring compressor off. If you're careful about it, you can test these without any piston or clutches in it. Just don't give it a lot of air. That's your overrun. Good and solid. That second hole should be your forward. Beautiful. And this one will be your 3/4. Alright, this one, the 3/4 has a bleed on the inside. And the bleed that I'm talking about is right here. That bleed hole there will bleed when you're testing that. So if you plug it with your finger or your thumb or whatever you want to use, and when you apply air to it, you should have a solid clutch. And it sounds good. Good and solid. All right, now there is no testing. There is no really test for the clutch pack clearance on an overrun, so you just put your overruns in there, and very simply put your steel in there, fiber, steel, and a fiber. And we're not going to worry about putting the forward sprag in right now because it'd make it almost impossible to check the clearance. So once you got that, you want to put your bottom plate in for your forward clutch. Okay, then alternate your fiber and steel stack up or your forwards. Take that back. Could have sworn the Ford had a wave plate in it. I was correct. This thing's got a wave plate in it. Somehow this transmission was missing the wave plate. So there, that is correct. Because I knew the stack up wasn't right. So now this stack up should be correct. Just about left the wave plate out and put another friction in there. Drivability though, fellers. Drivability. Now we're cooking with fire. Yes, sir. All right. Now this gets this big, thick ring. Make sure that you get the opening in between some teeth. All right. So we're going to apply that clutch a couple of times. Okay. Now, the Ford clutch's spec is 30 to 63 thousandths. So let's start with a 30. There's 30 right there. Okay, 30 is pretty loosey-goosey all the way around, so we could do, how about a 21 and a 14? That'd give us 35. And that's snug. So we're a little on the low side of the 30, which is good. So that clutch is ready to go. And we're just going to leave it together for now. Because now we're going to do the Z-Pack. If y'all never done a Z-Pack before, they give you instructions for it and how to set it up. You got your bottom plate here, so it goes in here, and these are single-sided clutches. You got fiber on that side, just steel on that side. And pay attention to where these grooves are. They go in the holes in between, so that way you can get your load spring in there. We just alternate internal and external spline. Stack your clutch up. Okay, your top plate is special. Then you've got a spacer here, and then your top plate. Don't forget your load springs. They go down in there. Top plate in, and then put your retainer in. Like that. All right, give it a couple of shots to seat everything. Okay, good and seated. All right, now they tell you, and I'll open this up and let you know, And this has got the spacer in there. Okay, and they want 50 to 70 thousandths clearance. So there's a 20. Okay, we got a 20 and a 30. Okay, I can't get a 20 and a 30 in there. Well, there it goes. All right, so there's one on that side. See if we can get a 50 on the other. 26. Let me see if I can find a 24. There it is. There's a 26 and a 24. Okay, we've got a 50 thousandths in both sides, and it's snug. It's got drag on it. It's got just a slight bit of drag on it. So that clutch is good to go. We don't have to make any adjustments to it, because it tells you right here. Install optional external spline shim to adjust clearance to 50 to 70 thousandths if necessary. So it's necessary. We could put a thicker we can't put a thicker snap ring in there, so that's where we're going to be sitting at. So it's good. So you can't ask for anything better than that. That housing's in good shape. So now we need to blow it all apart and soak all the clutches. I suppose y'all wanted me to do that too. Who wants to see that? So maybe, maybe not, but if you don't like it, you can always skip it. Take and set your load springs off to the side. Set your pressure plate off to the side. Now, getting this forward clutch snap ring out is a bear sometimes. Because it is so stout. Get that out. Oop. All right, in the bath they go. All right, y'all. So it's been a day or two, but time to put this dude together. So we'll start with our overrun clutch, and let me go get the other ones out of the bath, and we'll just set our other fluid. We'll set them right there for now. It actually won't hurt them to get in that other fluid anyway. Alright. Overrun. Another steel for the overrun. Another overrun clutch. And now here is where there's a couple of things you want to do. One, I get my fingers in this bag. You need to put this seal in. And this seal is the pliable brown one. If you get a white plastic one, throw it away and get the brown one. They've had an update for it, and this is the one that you want. That dude goes in right in there. Then you got this bearing right here, which has got ears on the top and it's flat on the bottom. And just set that one. That one goes right in there on top. And then your forward sprag sits in there. Now, since I got it out, let's go ahead and give a little lubrication to our bushings so we're not dry. Now, before I go any further, you're going to want to put this plate in there. This is your overrun clutch plate, sits on top. Then put your forward sprag in there. Like so. Alright, now you're ready to build your forward clutch. Now don't forget your forward clutch has got a wave plate that goes in there. So wave plate goes in first. Notice where I'm putting the teeth. These two teeth need to go in between here. You need to leave the open gap in here. Put that in. Put you a steel in. Fiber, and just alternate. Alright, you get to your top of your stack, put your pressure plate in, the beveled side goes up. Put your snap ring in, and make sure this opening sits somewhere in these teeth in here. It just any of the set of teeth, but don't make the opening don't put your opening in right here. And that'd be bad news bear right there. You'll have trouble with the clutch binding. And this snap ring is hell for stout, so There you go. There's that one. Now you need to build up your Z-pack, is what we're using. Now these fingers here sit on top of your apply ring here. Like that. And starting with an external spline, you notice this has got a wider gap here. Well, that coincides with this gap here. All your frictions go up. These are single-sided clutches. Your top clutch plate, then you got your spacer, and then don't forget your load springs. They go right down in there. Then your top plate. Then put your snap ring in. Again, try to get your opening in between a set of teeth. There you go. Now just for giggles, we're going to test everything again one more time. So this will be your overrun clutch. Nice and solid. Your second groove is your forward clutch. There we go. No leaky. And then your top one is your 3/4. I don't have my nozzle. There we go. And remember what I told you, you'll get air from this hole right here. My finger out of the way, but this hole right here, you'll get bleed off when you apply your 3/4. So if you plug it with your finger, or your thumb, or whatever you want to do, and I just barely put any air to it, you can hear it. So that's my finger. Word of note, you can replace this orifice right here. You can still get it from GM. On Scarlett's 4LS60, whenever I get ready to do it, it's the same way. Somebody put JB weld over that hole. I was able to get the JB weld out, but I couldn't get it out of the orifice, so I knocked the orifice out. You can actually get to the orifice through this hole right here, kind of at an angle, and you can knock that orifice out, which is what I did, and I just got a new one to replace it. So ideally you'd want the input shaft out of the way, but it doesn't always work that way. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. All right, the seals for the input housing. See, that's what this is jacked up. I can't turn this this input. I'm gonna have to buy a new one of these. There it goes a little bit, but it's like super freaking tight, and it shouldn't be. All right, so we'll do without it. See if I can't get you down a little more eye level. Alright, so we're going to have to do this the hard way. Well, it's not really that hard, but... And again, I'll apologize for the wind noise. It's entirely too warm in here to not have the fan on. Alright, so you got these 4 rings. Tell you a little thing on the 8L series transmissions. This ring is probably twice as thick this way, not diameter, but the thickness of the ring is so much larger. And the only way that I found to get these on is to put them on the bench and then put the heat gun on them to warm them up, because if you don't, they use the same style of installer on the 8L series, and what happens is when you try to push this ring over this deal here, it wants to flare it out and try to roll the seal, and that makes a real booger to get in the groove. I mean, the Teflon rings on the 8L series are hell for stout, I can tell you that. Alright, so we're gonna kind of just hold it there. Alright. Alright, so these expand quite a bit, so use your little finger method and just kind of get as many fingers around and kind of push it back in the groove. I try to do a seal sizer on every ring as I go, and then that one's sized. Okay, so you just basically want to repeat the process. It's kind of tough to do when the tool's broke, put it that way, but okay, like I said, I try to do the sizer on every one of them. That way you make sure that they don't get too far deformed, and you get them sized pretty close. Before you put the whole thing together, you're going to want to put the sizer on there anyway to get it ready for installation, because otherwise it'll stick in your stator shaft as you're trying to put the thing together. All right, one left. The 700 R4s and the early 4L60s, they would use, now they never used a scarf cut. This is a scarf cut seal on the turbine shaft seals. This is called a turbine shaft, by the way. Input shaft, turbine shaft, but they call this a turbine shaft seal. Anyway, they never used, let me rephrase that. These were always a one-piece Teflon seal. Whether or not it was a 700 R4 or 4L60E. Now on the early 350 turbos, they used a scarf cut seal. But in later years, on like the stator shaft that's on the back of the pump, they use these solid rings also. The early models were scarf cut and they were blue in color. That's how you can kind of tell what they belong to. Like a 4T65, these were actually yellow. That was to designate that they were a different size. But I prefer these solid rings over the scarf cuts any day of the week, especially on a stator shaft on a pump, because you just get a better seal with them. So, all right, the only thing you got left here to do is there is your bearing and washer that goes there. These washers are all marked. Like this one here is a 70. That's a pretty thick washer for one of these. We're gonna leave the 70 there for now, because that's what came out of it. But that's not to mean that we won't have to change it. Most of the time I see a 68 or a 67. So this is a 70. This washer goes on right there, right in that pocket. Then you got this bearing here, and this bearing is black on the top, silver on the bottom, and you notice how much wider on the bottom it is. So the black side goes up, it just sits right there, and that's it. Other than putting your O-ring on here for your torque converter, which you can't do until you put your pump in, that's it. So you're done with the input housing. It's all assembled and you can set it aside till you're ready to put it in the transmission. So take 2 of this outro. I don't know what happened, but it didn't record it. So anyway, that's it for the input housing. So if this is something you like to see, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. There's a lot of you that watch the videos that don't subscribe. Maybe I'm too boring for you, I don't know. I'm just an old guy just wanting to teach some of the things I've learned over the years. So, but anyway, again, if you like the content, make sure to give me a thumbs up, a subscribe, comment, like and share with your friends. Next in line is going to be the pump. I'm going to save that for another video because there's some modifications and we're going to put some Sonnax goodies in it. So with that being said, make sure to stay tuned for that. Y'all take care of yourself, take care of each other. God bless you and God bless America. Bye-bye.